This is Trey Wright for Jazz Guitar Today, and in today's lesson we're going to look at beginning improvisation techniques and apply them to a common jazz standard, Autumn Leaves. First step is don't be intimidated. I know improvisation can be scary, particularly if you haven't done a whole lot of it. So instead of viewing that you've got to create this complicated jazz solo, instead try to view it as you're just creating new melodies over an existing chord progression. So we're just going to focus on the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves today, the A section, but understand that everything we talk about today could be applied to the entire tune. So if we look at Autumn Leaves in G minor, what we're trying to do is figure out, is there a common key center that we can use throughout this entire tune? So the song starts on C minor, to F7, to B flat major 7, to E flat major 7. That's the first 4 bars. And what we find here is that's a 2 minor 7, 5 7, 1 the B flat major, to 4 E flat major. All of these chords are diatonic to the key of B flat major, which means that we could use a B flat major scale over the entire first 4 bars. Now if we look at the next 4 bars, we have A half diminished, D7 to G minor. Now at first glance it may seem that we've moved to a radically different key center, but really what's happening, this is a 2-5 in G minor. Well, G minor is the relative minor B flat major, and vice versa. All that means is that they share notes, so that's good for us. Because what this essentially means is that we can play a B flat major scale over the entire chord progression. So if you look at figure 2, I've written out a 2-octave B flat major scale. However, when we first begin to improvise, even that's a lot of information. So what we're going to focus on is the first 5 notes of the scale. So that's B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. So let's hear what this might sound like, improvising off just these 5 notes through the chord progression. I've got a loop here, and let's see what happens. Now if you notice, I did some slurs, some sliding in the notes. I tried to also be dynamic with my phrasing and also leave pauses. Those are always really, really good ideas. So in many ways you can kind of let your ear be your guide through this. Now another common approach that I really highly encourage is to improvise off the melody. So you know the melody works over the chord progression, so we can use this as a vehicle for improvisation. So the first step is to actually learn the melody to Autumn Leaves. So let's hear what that might sound like. So you notice that gives you a lot of room to experiment with. And it also gives you a chance to really work through improvising off rhythms and coming up with different approaches to play over the melody. So in our next lesson, I'm going to talk about targeting chord tones to sort of bring out some of the harmony. So less of a key-based approach and more of a chord-based approach. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me at trey@treywright.com, and I hope you'll take the time to like or subscribe the Jazz Guitar Today channel on YouTube.